calling all green-fingered gurus and plant killers alike. We got you covered every month with gardening inspiration, hands-on practical advice and fun projects to do. From the latest in plant fashion, growing your own, whether to prune or not to prune, from cover to cover, The Gardener and Detainee magazines have got your back. Get your copy now or subscribe online at thegardener.co.za.
The Gardener Masterclass is proudly brought to you by the stoechas Garden Care range. Innovative gardening solutions for feeding, growing and care. Are you ready to grow with stoechas? Seeds of success. And the Gardener magazine. Get access to the greatest minds, latest gardening trends, inspirational ideas and tips. Available from leading retailers or online at thegardener.co.za.
Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday. It is your masterclass and spring is here. I told you last month. I said to you, I know you listened. I know you did. And you heard it. You heard it coming. I watched it coming. I won't tell you what the moles have done, but that's another story for later. Much later. But anyway, guys, it is spring and I tell you, I know it might be a bit early. Yes, Mother Nature still, like, she comes along and just slaps us across the head every now and then, just to remind us who is in charge. But us gardeners, and I know you can relate to this, our biggest challenge is to work with her, and sometimes against her, because we want to defy everything. We want the plants to flower when it shouldn't really flower. We want it to be amazing all the time, but you know, I guess that's part of the challenge. But guys, it's been a wonderful few weeks here at the Gardener and at the Lone Hill team. We've done quite a bit of traveling. Some of the team went up and ran a conference, which was absolutely amazing. We've been visiting some garden centers, and we had the privilege of bumping into many garden centers at the Melansians Trade Day, which for those of you who know the Melansians Trade Day, and for those gardeners, it's like going to, geez, what's the right word? It's like going to where, you know when there's a big firework display, you know, like it's a, that's like when spring starts. When you walk in and you see all those amazing plants, and it's still a bit of a chilly morning, but everybody is excited because we know that what we call in our world, in our gardening world, we call it season. Season is coming. And to all of those, to you guys who I got to say hello to, who shared your stories, and the inspiration, that is what is most important. So guys, I see there are a lot of you online this morning. YouTube is going mad. Facebook is going mad. And it really is a privilege to have you alongside us today. So, spring. This is spring. Come look here. Come look here. This is spring. You see this? This is spring, folks. These daffodils have been in this pot for years, and I mean years. They go to sleep, we put mulch over them, we put a little sign up if we're having open gardens that says bulbs are snoozing, and we also put the sign there to remind us not to dig the pot up, because you know it happens. I mean, you see an empty pot, you're like, something's got to go in there. And so we also put the sign there for us to remind us that we shouldn't be planting anything in there. But this is spring, and this is probably the most joyous moments in our garden, is walking around early spring, late winter, and seeing these beautiful guys popping. And they are they're just too beautiful. And you can have that, but only next year. Yeah, sorry for you. You can buy them as instant growing plants now at your local garden centre. Oh, yes, you can. They're going to be like coming into flower. But if you didn't plant them, and that's why we talk about seasonality, and we talk about you've got to get the work done. This work should have been done in April and May. Yes, April and May, so they could sleep during the winter and then wake up during the very, very cold when the bud and growth starts, and then poof, here it is. So I know spring is here, and it's going to be beautiful. The delphiniums are out in the garden. They are looking magnificent, and I am going to share them with you, probably in the next live. But I will tell you, the delphiniums at the moment, I kid you not, are standing probably about waist high. That's how high the flower spikes are. They could even be a bit taller, but they are looking superb because it's been a nice cold winter, and everything is responding beautifully to that. So guys, let's see who's online, and let's say a good morning to everybody. Adele, good morning. They remind you of Alice in Wonderland. Rambiza, good morning from Zimbabwe. Rosalind, good morning. Samantha from Port Elizabeth. Milani from Pretoria, sunny Pretoria, go girl. Cheryl Walton, hello, speaking of molds, how do you get rid of them ethically? There is no way. There is no way. You can get different, and let's clear this up now. You can get different mold remedies, but basically all they do is they chase the molds away. They reek of garlic. You get in little bottles available at your local garden centre. Folks, what you've got to do is put that stuff down there, and hopefully they choose your neighbour. Yeah, and go there. Okay. But for bulbs, a lot of people say, I can't plant bulbs because of the molds. You just use one of these guys. Okay, this is what we call an air pot, and you get them in various sizes, guys, many different sizes. So, and in here you could easily put 3 daffodil bulbs. You could probably put about 15 sparaxis in. Coming up to the summer bulbs, of course, there's going to be all the liliums available. You're going to have the beautiful coloured xanthodecia, the arum lilies. You can put these in. So you bury this, put the bulbs in here, and then those gorgeous, furry, little cute critters will not get to them. But, so there is a solution. There really is a solution. Okay. Who else is here? Milani. Yes, I've said good morning to Milani. Anita, good morning. Anthea. Sure made it. Thanks for waiting. I waited just for you. Barbara, good morning from sunny California. Good morning, Barbara. Sure, they have the most amazing plant trials there. One day I want to go there. Kathy, good morning from Lone Hill, Joburg. Good to have you guys with us. And let's go down here. Who else have we got? Myrtle. Good morning, Myrtle. Gacinia, good morning from Grassy Park, Cape Town. I know you guys have been very chilly down there. Janine Northcott, good morning from Somerset West. Spade, oh, I love that. Your name's Spade. I dig that. Don't crack yourself up, Tanya. Good morning from George. Spade, good morning. Cheryl from Alberton. Felicity, good morning. I'm glad you could catch us. Jenny from Montclair, Durban. Guys, there's a lot of you. Anya is here as well. Good morning, guys. Right, let's get cracking. So, spring. Right. Some of you might only be waking up now. Like, it's August. Yeah, where did the year go? I get that. Where did the year go? We blinked, and first of all, we blinked and we were having to write 22, at the end of the date. Next thing I last recall writing something 0222. It was Feb. We blinked, and then Now all of a sudden I'm going, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Can't be. Cannot be. We cannot be in the 8th month already. But here we are, and this is it. So the great thing about spring is that I find all of a sudden motor cars become much smarter. Much smarter. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, motor cars, the cars that you drive. Because during spring, no matter if you're a gardener, a non-gardener, a plant killer, a new plant parent, whatever you are, a plant abductor, I know some of those. Yeah, they hold them hostage. Anyway, cars somehow find their way, just by remote control, parked in front of a garden centre. And you had no idea how the car got there. Because inside of us wakens this beautiful sleeping beast, which is our true core, the thing that makes us want to garden, the things that makes us want to touch things and keep things alive. So, and grow things and nurture them, and that is what we yearn for. So if you're one of those and life has just happened and all of a sudden we're in August, the first thing I want you to do is to check your gardening tools. Now, you're going to say, oh, Tanya, that is so like boring. No, guys, seriously, if you've wondered why your hedge looks like a rat has been eating at it, or the pit bull from 4 houses down has actually been attempting to prune it, maybe that's because your pruning shears look like this, okay? And your helper, your garden executive, and that could be your husband, your wife, you know, they come in different forms. And you're wondering why things are not going as they should. Well, that's because your equipment could look like this, okay? Exhibit A. Exhibit B, the secateur might have lost its spring. That might be lying in the neighbor's garden, which is quite possible. And you're still trying to use it. And I watch you trying to prune, because then you think, if I do this, you know, and if I hook my finger under here, I can still get it right. But guys, we put ourselves through unnecessary trauma and stress by not having the right equipment for our gardens. So I want you to check it all out. You know, does it need a sharpening? Does it need a cleaning? Do you need to go and get a new spring? Is the fork working? Can you find it? Because some of you don't know where the stuff is. I know. It's in that box behind that thing. Yeah, doll, I can't really remember. Last time I saw it, it was behind the camping equipment. Okay. Guys, do a check, please. Just do a check. If you haven't sent your lawnmower in for, or you yourself replace the blades, check if they sharpen, do it now. Because when summer comes along, which is going to be around the corner, and that lawnmower goes doof, doof, or it's like eating up like clumps of grass, like it hasn't had its medication this morning, you're going to wonder what's going on. You're going to take it to the repair shop, and they're going to say, there's a 3-week waiting list. Yeah, you been there? Yeah, okay. So let's get these manky tools out the way. And before I do injure myself, I probably need a tetanus injection if one of those do poke me, because they are very rusted. Okay, guys, now, when we start talking spring, there are beautiful plants that are peaking now, or they just in bud, which means that you can put them into your garden with confidence. I'm saying they're not going over. I'm saying these plants come into flower. This is their cusp. When the temperatures are still quite mild, when it's mild, we're still getting some cold days. So the temperatures are holding the flowers back. They're holding them back. And that's why this period now is just so critical that we do the right things to get to enjoy it. So come along with me, and I want to show you a few beauties. Now, number one, guys, oh caramba. Look at this. Ain't she sexy? Hey? This is a lavender stoechas. Stoechas. And we know it's a stoechas because, do you see its little ears? Do you see it's got those little fluffy ears on top? That's a lavender stoechas. And it's got a very fine tooth. Nice and compact. And this one in particular is called the princess lavender. And she sure is a princess. She really is beautiful. We've had these plants, and I actually haven't planted them out yet. Sorry about the ginger and the rosemary. We haven't yet planted them out, and I now know, because I've been battling to find out where to put them, but I now know where they're going to go. Remember, with lavenders, this is their time. If your lavender's looking sad, woody, okay, allow it to have its few flowers, allow it to have that. And after it's flowered, then you prune it. And that is the general rule, folks, okay? So you prune the plant when it is finished flowering, okay? Very important. But this is the princess lavender. It's beautiful. Go and check out at your local garden center, because I am sure you are going to want one of these babies. Very, very spectacular. Right, now the poor rosemary that took a bit of a tumble. Let's talk about this poor little baby before anything else happens to it. Rosemary's late spring, late winter, early spring, coming into their beautiful flush. And we have them in the flower beds. In the flower beds, guys, because don't take this plant and like banish it to the veggie garden, because they are absolutely spectacular. The spikes, the bees love them, the butterflies love them. Remember, with all of your plants now, and we're going to touch on this immediately because I know that question is going to come up, is what do I plant them with and what do I feed them with? Okay, guys, I'm going to go through this very, very quickly so that you get the idea. Now, number one, you know this is a firm favorite, okay? You know this is a firm favorite of mine. Guys, this is Atlantic Bio-Ocean, and you know, sometimes you've forgotten to feed something, and it's like, I suppose it's like a household that always has, you've always got to have a backup. Like I say, if you've got an onion and a tomato, you can make anything. You can cook anything. If you've got an onion and a tomato in your grocery cupboard, your household is full. And that's what I say with this. There's always like some hanging around. So let me tell you about this. It's pelletized. Okay, so it looks like rabbit food. All right. The dogs can eat it and they'll be okay. All right, they will be okay. It's a slow release fertilizer, and the reason why it's a slow release is because these little granules, these little bullet-shaped things, as moisture hits them, so they start swelling, but they take a good few weeks to release and finally compost into the soil. So in this time that they are busy breaking down, that is when they're releasing nutrition, slowly releasing nutrition. So you're getting that, not this poof of nutrition. It's not like getting an adrenaline injection, okay? It's about getting a consistent, slow release of nutrition. Now, Bio-Ocean is also a soil conditioner, because I told you, because it's got organic properties. Well, it's completely organic. So what it's made of is seaweed, kelp, okay, that's been fermented and broken down. It's got fish meal in it. It's got humic acid, and it's got chicken manure. Okay, so you've got all those things in there. So it's got also calcium, iron, magnesium, and zinc, which are all good for plants, general health and growth. And it's got a 27, 17, 31 NPK. Okay, so what does that mean? What does that mean? The 27, basically good nitrogen, good growth. The middle number, which is also quite high, which is 17, means that there's a lot of phosphates in there, which are going to improve root growth, okay, because that ratio is quite high. And 31, which is the potassium. And potassium gives us flowers, and plant stability, plant health, and fruiting. Okay, so how do you apply it? Guys, it's very, very simple. You can apply this when you are planting. It will literally be 2 handfuls per planting hole. You can also apply it around the plants, and a handful Please notice, that's a handful. I'm just checking, okay? That's a handful. Not this. That is not a handful. That's like you're trying to steal all the sweeties out of the Christmas chocolate quality street bowl. Didn't you love doing that? I only wanted those long ones with the gold wrapping round. Toffee, yeah, those ones. And then I didn't like Turkish Delight, but my brothers did, so they took all of those. But anyway, you know that bowl that you got to walk around? That, you're not grabbing handfuls of it. It's like those, that's shame, when children come to visit and they're not allowed sweeties, and then I open the sweetie cupboard, and then I give them lots of sweeties and send them home on a sugar high. Okay, anyway, this is a handful, guys, please. 50 grams. 50 grams. That's all you're going to need. Most times we over-fertilizing and you're wasting your money. So it's 50 grams, which is 2 handfuls around the shrub or into the planting hole, which is going to suffice and be great for 6 to 8 weeks. So that's giving you nutrition for 6 to 8 weeks, which is going to be good for your plant. So what can you use it on? Fruit trees, you can use it on flowering plants, you can use it on your veggies. Follow the instructions, which are all on the back. And if the dog eats them, it's okay. Like I say in the classics, we have got 2 Yorkies, and they eat a lot of Atlantic. They love it. But the good news is they are not yet Rottweilers. They have still remained the same size. Okay, let's carry on and talk about some other beautiful plants. Guys, if you walk into a garden center right now, there are just going to be plants galore. And some of the plants I really would like to highlight are these over here. I mean, this is the time when Malvas just come to their fore. Whether you've got a little pot to fill, whether you've got a basket, whether you just want to zhuzh something up to brighten up your day, that is what I want you to use. Remember, water the soil, and please not the leaves of your geranium. They don't like that. If you water the leaves, they are more than likely going to get a disease. And if you want to be very, very, very bright and funky, then why don't you plant some little yellow snapdragons around them? Isn't that cute? Look at that. I mean, if you were Deborah that's depressed, you plant this. I can see this in a container. I can see this smiling at me. Happy. This is a beautiful little snapdragon called Snapshot, actually. And remember, they are snapdragons because if I get it right, I can open him. There, come on, open up, my boy. Oh, he's not ready to open. There he is. There he is. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. And look at all the pollen in here. Look at all that pollen. So we want to invite the birds, butterflies, the bees, the solitary bees. Man, this is the happy stuff we should be planting. Happiness. Happiness in a tray. Yeah, it does. It makes me super excited now. So right now, I actually want to go and find a pot and plant this immediately. Okay, spring says Primulas. Guys, these are the later flowering ones. So you might have seen these, and you might have planted these, which are the little fairy primroses. Semi-shade, full sun. They can even do with damp soil. You can get them in the white. This is the lavender, or the bright, bright carmine, which is pink. So if you've got these in your garden, you can still plant them now. You can still plant them. But these are the ones that are really, they really hold all the power for spring. This is also a little primula. They're lovely in little clay pots. You get 4 in a punnet, and look at that one little plant. Look at that color. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Soft light, okay, not full sun, guys. Please don't put them into full sun. They won't be happy. Keep them well watered. Very important. Don't let them dry out. They dry out, these flowers like go over, and then you're going to wait for the next lot to push through. Very, very important. Okay. Yes. Look at this. This is actually one of my favorites that we've been planting This is called Sorbet Pink, and look at that alternate color. It really is spectacular. Remember, with your pansies, your violas, just keep deadheading, and we're going to show you that in a minute or two. Just keep deadheading, but keep planting, because if you plant these now, remember, you look after them, so that's compost, bone meal, use your Atlantic, put it into the planting hole, keep deadheading. They will go through until December, even January in your gardens. And that's the beauty about these little guys. I want to touch on a few others. So let's go back over here. Because, you know, there has to be something for everyone in a spring garden. There really has to be. And some of you kind of might not want to get those little punnets. So there are many different ways of skinning the cat. And guys, this is where I want to talk seeds. Seeds. Now, growing in here, and it's probably got nothing to do with spring, but but it's fun, and our pets just love it. This is Stark Air's pet grass. Guys, it's this here, this packet of seed. And it's sown in the veggie garden. Isolde actually sows it in trays like this, so because they're like they're like cows, huh? They're like lawnmowers. Yes, the dogs are like lawnmowers. They get stuck into this, and they will annihilate it. Like there'll be nothing left. So Isolde has a few trays like this, and it literally is palm peat in here. You know your block of palm peat in here, seed sprinkled on top. Cover it a bit. That is your pet grass. You can get at least 5 punnets out of 1 packet. You're getting a lot of seed here, guys. A lot of seed. Okay? The pets love it. It's great for their digestion. And, yeah, it's fun. Beyond anything. Remember when those seed heads were all the rave? Remember those? And then I used to cut mine like Bart Simpson's hair. You know, it went up, down like that. That's what was used. It was pet grass. It was actually used to make Bart Simpson's hairstyle. Anyway, others that you should be sowing right now. Right now. Alyssum. Beautiful Alyssum. There it is. Alyssum you can sow directly. Sow this directly. This is it when it is growing. And you know, it's like honey, hey? Smells like honey. It's beautiful. Doesn't need a lot of water. Sow it directly into the garden. Remember, believe it or not, all the instructions are on the back. So please sow this. The white is beautiful, and you can also use it in baskets, containers, especially borders. It works beautifully in borders. So if you're just about to plant and kind of like you're getting going, here's some nice combinations. Look at that. Sow the Alyssum in front. Have your little violas around the back. It's such a happy combination. Really is happy. Okay, right. Other seeds that I want you to sow now, because now we're going to be prepping for later. If you've got any holes and you still want to get that feeling, well, look out for these guys. Zinnias, guys. Giant zinnias. They are spectacular. They are old-fashioned. Nothing eats them. Nothing. Do consider putting those into your garden. Of course, sunflowers. Sunflowers. Big seed. Easy to sow. I promise you, you'll get it right. And one of my favorites, Californian poppies. They are looking spectacular at the moment. You can still sow them right now, right through. They'll go into the late spring, into summer, and into autumn. And they are just a flurry of beautiful orange and colors. So guys, there's lots out there to plant. Of course, if you are going to get stuck into the veggie garden, because edibles is the time, I'm going to jump across to here. Come and have a look here. If space is your issue, then do it in pots, guys. Here it is. We've got a mustard. We've got a beautiful pineapple sage, and the pineapple sage has the most, it is full of nectar. Full. It's absolutely beautiful. Pineapple sage is lovely, lovely to have in gins and cocktails. Here we've got, this is a nasturtium called Alaska, which is the variegated. We've got some calendulas in here, and of course our little violas. So from a space perspective, you can have it all. You can sow your seeds, whether you're sowing the seeds of some baby cherry tomatoes, of a few lettuce, of a few mustard, and you are worried about space, this is where you can do it. Another option, and Mace, I'm going to make you get up right over here, is of course hanging bowls. This is a hanging basket, and look, it's got the works in it. Parsley, rosemary, we've got some edible dianthus, some beautiful little violas, and it's doing its job. And we've even got some spring onions. So this thing about having hectares and acres to put down your veg, no, 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 no. You can literally pop it into something really small. And of course, if you don't have any of these, find an old wheelbarrow, get an old bucket. There's really something that you can sow in, that you are able to grow these plants in. Of course, there are many others, guys, but just take a look and read the instructions, whatever you do, please. But get out there and sow your seed. And some of your seed might actually even be from last year, but that's okay. I'm going to tell you to just give it a try. Okay, remember, it is using your palm peat, okay, very important, using your palm peat, sowing it, and then feeding, okay? And when we talk about feeding, guys, when your seeds have just germinated, all right, what I want you to do is you can use either of these in a half-dose solution. You can use Nutri-Feed, which is literally, the dilution rates are very simple. It's 5 grams in a liter, so that's half one of these little caps. And you can then start feeding. As soon as they've germinated, they get to the 2-leaf stage. I really want you to start feeding. You can also use the kelp, and the kelp gives you all of those fulvic acids, which is important for good plant health. So either of these, I want you to make sure that you are giving them the right food. Okay, right, moving along. I want to show you these guys. Mason, I'm going to need you here. Look at this. Isn't it spectacular? Isn't that beautiful? This is one of this is called a matrix, and it's yellow-purple wing. But look at the size of that flower. I just can't get enough of these, and the problem is I just don't have enough space to put them all in. But these are what I want you to start popping in and filling in gaps. All right, when we talk about seed sowing, take a quick look here. If you have wanted to cheat nature, in other words, you're still getting a bit of frost, remember, you can sow them into little pots like this, like we've done here. This is a little mix. We've sowed them, germinated them, and we've used one of these little germination chambers, which means that they stay nice and warm. We put them on a table so they're away from the frost and the cold, and we can get a really good germination out of them. Okay, guys, in terms of other plants that are out there, I want you to look here, because this is, for me, just irresistible. And we're talking fuchsias. You know, fuchsias were really kind of old-fashioned. They came in a fashion, they went out of fashion. There's beautiful ranges available, which are called the Bella series. Guys, these are compact. They are nicely rounded, good shape. So they're not going to get huge in your garden. They flower intensely. Look at these. Look at all these buds. And what I did here, I just took the hanger off one of these. So you could actually take it like this, pop it into a container, and you've got an instant plant. Now that's spring cheating. Ha! Anyway, remember, with your fuchsias, lots of water, okay, lots of water, lots of food. Please give them the plant foods I've recommended. And if they start sending up a tall, do you see this? This tall spike over here, all I want you to do, thumb and forefinger, okay? Thumb and forefinger, and I want you to just nip that off. Just like that. Okay, there it is. Nip it off, because what that then does is it forces more bushy lateral growth rather than these guys that are pushing up. So just like with this guy over here, all I do is just give it a little nip. Okay, just like that, because that is going to encourage better bud set all the way around the plant. But these are spectacular, guys. I mean, I don't know, if I had to count these here, I'd probably be here till tomorrow. But they are beautiful combinations. And don't be scared of fuchsias. They're not that hard to grow, even if you call it a fuchsia, which some people do. But I think fuchsia's a much better way to say it. And even if you do sometimes swear at it and call it a fuchsia, because it's not growing well, it's okay. They really don't need, they're not that fussy. Don't put them in full sun. They're semi-shaded, guys. Don't put them in full sun. Semi-shade, on the patio, under the eaves. Just don't let them dry out. But in the same token, don't leave them with wet feet. Because if they have wet feet, okay, they are going to rot. So a well-drained, and that's why you see in these baskets, if you had to water these guys, the water would simply just pour through. And that is ideally what you want. So anyway, these are beautiful. Complete spring explosion. Absolute explosion. Okay, right. Coming along over here. Other plants that I'd like you to consider, guys. These are the cone flowers. Beautiful. And you saw the pin cushions as we opened up. Those are picked from the garden this morning. They are doing their thing. And they're not that hard. The only thing is, remember, when planting, use no phosphates. Okay, no phosphates. But what I do want you to do is, in the planting hole, is to use some hydrocash. We've spoken about hydrocash. You know, it's that gel that you mix with the water. Pop that into the planting hole. These are beautiful shrubs that can hold and balance your garden. Okay, so this is what we call the permanent stuff. And look at that. They're fantastic. Cut flowers, structure in the garden, and then you fill up around with all those other pretties that I was talking about. Completely spectacular. I think very underrated. Very, very underrated. And certainly deserve a place in shrubberies and in borders, because you've got something that changes color with temperatures and still gives you a flower, which is quite odd. Okay, Nemesias. It's called Nemesia Aromatica. Guys, this is an inheemse bloem, indigenous. Nemesia Aromaticas come in bright yellow, a lovely orange. You get it in a white as well, and then this vibrant red. These are great in between fillers. And remember, when they have finished flowering, all I want you to do is just give them a little prune. So back down to the leaves. Never all the way down, okay? Back down to a good set of healthy leaves when it is finished flowering. It's very important to do that, folks, because if you prune any deeper, any harder, this guy will die. Okay, so these are aromatics because they have this most beautiful fragrance. Lots of sun, indigenous, and does the trick. Okay, roses, roses, roses. Yes, it's time. They're going to start waking up. This is knockout, guys, and if you've never planted a rose, and I was chatting to someone this morning, she said, well, the 4 roses I planted are dead. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that didn't really work out for you then, did it? If you're not good at roses, there are 2 roses you should plant. 2, and only 2. And these are them. The one is an iceberg, okay? The second one is this guy called Knockout. And it is a knockout because it doesn't get diseases. It flowers all the time. If you're really bad at pruning, you can even take your head shear to this thing. I promise you, you will not kill it. You could literally take one of those electric things and prune it, and it will still grow and live. It's not fussy. It's great in borders. Keep them in groups. And when you're driving around Joburg or Pretoria and you see these beautiful islands of pink roses, that's what it is. It's knockout. It's a spectacular rose. And it's one of those that never gets sick. So in my world, that is a good rose to plant. Remember, with roses, they need food. Okay, if you talk to Mr. Ludwig, if you talk to the guru of roses, he will tell you they need food and water. So now that they're starting to wake up, you have got to feed. Guys, important. So with feeding, I want you to either use the Bio Ocean, which I've just spoken about, or I want you to use the flower and fruit. Now, flower and fruit is also a pelletized chicken manure, and it's got a bit of added chemical in it. Really, it works very, very simply, guys. It's a handful, which is 50 grams every 6 to 8 weeks. It's got a high N, a good P, and a good K. It's also got some calcium, magnesium, and zinc in it. When you do apply it as a fertilizer, please, 2 handfuls around the shrub, not close to the stem, okay, not close to the stem, around it. Also to the drip zone. We all know what the drip zone is. So if you've got a lemon tree that you're going to be applying this to, remember, I've explained this before, if I am the trunk of the lemon tree and those are my outer leaves, if I drew a circle around like that, from here to there, that space there is called the drip zone. I want you to put the fertilizer all over there because that is where the feeder roots are. Okay, I really want you to do that. So fruit and flower will definitely do the job for you. Remember, it's only 2 handfuls per medium shrub, guys. You are not using half a bag. Right, view Q. Okay, I've been given an instruction. Let's have a look. Let's have a look here, guys. There must be some questions coming through. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Janine, can the fuchsia be in outside shade? Yes. Yes. Fuchsias grow beautifully in the garden, in dappled shade. So think about like under the eaves, or if the sun comes over your house like that way, so then you've got early morning sun on this side of the house, then you're getting the hot afternoon sun there. So if you're getting that early morning sun, perfect for fuchsias. It's that hot afternoon sun that burns them. That hot afternoon sun that comes in at that angle, it can burn the flowers, it can burn the leaves, and that's when things just go a bit south. So morning light, dappled shade, 100%. Is it too early to start? Who's this? Natalie, good morning. Is it too early to start feeding established garden plants in Cape Town with 315, or should we wait for a bit closer to September? Does the same go for containers? No, Natalie, I know that your peak is a bit later, but you're having all this good rain, okay? So, and when you're fertilizing a plant, if you read any of the instructions, they will always tell you to moisten the soil first, which none of us do actually. They tell you, make sure that the soil is moistened, so wet the plant first, then apply the fertilizer, and then re-water. So you've got the first part taken care of already because you've had such beautiful rain, okay? So yes, fertilize, wake them up. This is like your 5 o'clock alarm going off. Get them going, wake them up, and make sure that they are getting ready for spring, even if they're not, okay? You've got this. Okay, guys, some other beauties that I quickly want to touch on, which I really think need a place in your garden. I was speaking about yellow, and actually before I go into this, because I want to touch on yellow, I just have a natural, like, I'm drawn to it, because it's the color of happiness. It really is the color of happiness. I want you to watch this short video on how to introduce yellow into your garden. Yellow is such a great color to add into the garden, and you've got to be quite brave to put it in, but I really urge you to try and throw a bit of yellow in and around the garden. I've got 3 great examples of how you can add yellow into the garden. One are these little guys where you can buy them in little trays of 6 plants, It's called portulaca, and you get it in this bright, vibrant yellow. These are very much low-growing plants, good for fillers and gaps, love the full sun. Put them into areas such as rockeries, pots, hanging baskets, or even in window boxes. They just love it. Minimal water, and they are going to rock your socks off because they flower all summer long. Another one of my favorites is this guy. It's called Bardens, and man, it's a fantastic plant. The only thing you've got to do to it is remember to keep removing the flowers once they have died off. So just literally just snap them off with your thumb and your forefinger. The more you do that, the more you're going to encourage more bud to come through. It's also low growing, nice and creeping, good to use it right on the edge of gardens, all right? Pots, hanging baskets as well, but a truly great plant that is no mess, no fuss, and you really will battle to kill that guy. And my third yellow, which is simply my favorite, is not yellow in flower, but yellow in foliage. And this is a lemon thyme. Oh man, you just smell that, it just pops with the fragrance. This is a golden lemon thyme, beautiful to use, not in the veggie and the herb garden. Guys, this is so spectacular. Look, it even gets little flowers, little mauve flowers right there. Oh, who wouldn't want that? What do you do with it? Watch here. Soon as I pop yellow next to something gray, look how that color pops. Absolutely gorgeous. Thyme, as we know, the more you pick it, the more it just spreads out and thickens out for you. In amongst a bit of white, popped in there, really just makes the garden jump out at you and pop with color. So add these guys to your garden to make sure that they're gonna pop all over. So that is yellow, the color of happiness. Bardens was in that clip. Guys, if you see it in your garden center, get it. Bardens is actually related to, wait for it, the blackjack, the weed that you pull out your garden. Yes, that weed. It's actually a cousin of it, except a way prettier cousin, which will tell you how tough it is. Okay, I've seen it in baskets and containers. We've got some in the grass garden just around the corner here. It looks beautiful. But here's some other options on how to add yellow for pops of color into your garden. This is an amazing Abelia. Now, we've all know the Abelia, like from the gardens of the 70s and the 80s. Tall, growing, scraggly thing with a few little pink flowers at the end. Guys, this one is called Limelight. It's actually a ball, so it needs a slight little pruning here. As a shrub in containers, I mean, look at that. That is like, come on, baby. Like, how beautiful is that? Okay, so when we're talking about combinations, what can we use? What else? I'm thinking of like a beautiful agapanthus behind it. This agapanthus is called Twister. They both love the sun. They're both really tough. You're getting this beautiful structure with your Abelia lemon and lime. That's over here. And then, of course, we could pop a little indigenous osteospermum in the front and stay right there where you are, because I'm thinking for there and there. So this is foolproof. This is like a foolproof combination for your garden. So we've got these, which you would then grow right through to December, whatever color you're wanting of your pansies or your violas. You've got Alyssum, which you can sow, okay, which will last you 6-7 months. You've got beautiful osteos that will fill up very, very nicely, up to 1 meter wide. This is your permanent. So is your osteo, a really good perennial. And you've got the stalwart, the king of the garden, which is our beautiful indigenous agapanthus. But here is a combination that you could use anywhere in South Africa. And I'm talking from the coast right up to the mountains where it gets really cold. This you could use anywhere. And I like that because it's got a bit of everything. It's got something for the bees, something for the butterflies, structure for us, seeds for the birds, also for the pollinators. Water-wise, all of this does not require a lot of water. And there's something that really anybody could do in a small space. Okay, another plant that I quickly want to chat to you about is this plant. I think it is completely spectacular. This is also an indigenous Plectranthus. It's called Sasha. Okay, Sasha is simply mind-blowing in a hanging basket. Also good for border edging. Morning sun, not the midday sun, guys. Midday sun and hot afternoon sun, generally, this plant does not like that. So it's dappled shade, early morning sun, or and then cooler in the afternoons. But as combinations, and we're talking yellow again. We were talking about these fuchsias a bit earlier. You know, we were saying morning light, okay, dappled light. There's happiness. Beautiful Sasha in the front, which creeps, gets to about 60 centimeters wide, 30 centimeters high. You've got this lovely Fuchsia Bella in the back. Ah, yummy. Okay, so guys, that's the inspiration. That's what you need to get out there and go and do. There are combinations there that I've given you. Now, of course, the favorite, the thing that is all on our lips is that the saying goes, spring has sprung and the grass has not grown, has riz. No, it's not there yet. Okay, so it's time to start paying attention to that. Start watering. Okay, if you're in the Western Cape, you've got too much water. Don't water. If you're in the rest of the country, you need to start watering. You need to wake your lawn up. Okay, remember there are different ways. If your dogs have been digging up the lawn like ours have, you might need to get some little grass plugs and fill in. Remember, you can also get packets of seed. It's really simple to sow the seed. But you do want to wake it up. And the way that we wake it up is by giving it a good water once a week. And when I say a good water, I'm talking no more than 10 minutes. No more than 10 minutes. If you find that your soil is very hard, very compacted, guys, then you're going to have to start doing your gym work. And I want you to make sure that you have got a fork. Okay, this is 1x garden fork. And what we are going to do is you are going to fork the lawn. Fork it. So I know that some of you have anger issues, which I might have at this point. But guys, this is when you let it all out. Okay, so if your lawn has been compacted, if the dogs have been running on it, and it's not looking good, I want you to get the garden fork out, and I need you to impale this fork into the lawn at least halfway. At least halfway. You poke it in, jiggle, jiggle, release. Not poke it in and that. Please, not that, not there and there. We're not trying to lift whatever is still alive. No. All we're doing now is we're opening up some little air pockets to allow the water for when we water to get in there. Some of you could get fancy machines that you could hire that would literally take out little plugs, which is called aeration, but this is what we are doing. Aeration, okay? I want you to do that, and then the next thing that I want you to do, guys, is I want you to either get hold of some 232 or I want you to apply some bioorganic to your lawns. Now, bioorganic is a crumble, so it's not like those little rabbit pellets. It's almost like a powder. 2 handfuls per square meter. Water it in well. You can also use this if you are laying new lawn or if you are sowing lawn seed. You can put this into the soil and turn it around. Okay, this is going to give you a good kickstart. Okay, a good kickstart. So, what you're going to get in here is nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. Okay. It's got lots of fulvic and lots of humic acids, and it is pathogen free. Okay, and it's organic. Guys, so put this down. Remember, you forked. You're going to put this down, and then you're going to water. The good thing about this, because you're dealing with an organic product, even if it's not raining, if it hasn't rained, you can still put this down, and you don't even have to water. Because it will never burn. Okay? It will not burn your lawn. And that I will stand on my head, and I promise you that. The dogs will like licking the lawn, but it is a powder, so it's okay. Their kisses just aren't that great. But it really does the job. And you know, we're all worried. You know, we're like, is it going to work, or is it going to harm the pets and all that nonsense, which we do worry about. We're human. But yeah, that'll do the job for you. Okay, guys, now, something very exciting. Our Thanks Plants campaign has just started. Just started. Now, Thanks Plants is where we are saying thank you to you guys for everything that you give us. Whether it's a veg, whether it's a lavender for its aromatics and its beauty, whether it's a daffodil that's popped up to make me smile, whether it's essential oils for healing, pet grass for the fur kids, we want to say thank you. And I don't think we do it enough. And Stark Airs, Melansians, Plantland, and The Gardener and Detained magazines have created this to really make us all stand together and say thank you. So, how do you get involved? Because there's always something for you. Guys. In the August issue, now listen carefully, very, very carefully. In the August issue of The Gardener and Detained is a hidden word. A bit like Survivor is a hidden word. You will see the word is out of place. It's a strange word. It's a foreign word. Giving away too many secrets here, Tanya. It's a foreign word. But if you do not get the August issue and get the first word, you are not going to be able to enter the competition, because you need August, September, and October. Those 3 months you will get a word in each month, and that will give you a sentence. And that sentence is the answer to the competition. What do you stand a chance to win? Ha! 75,000 rands worth of gardening goodies, fertilizer that will like blow you away, seeds, magazines. I'll come and visit your garden. True story. I'm not fancy with coffee. Just give me Frisco. Yeah, into the 75,000 rands worth of gardening goodies. I'm going to pop round to your garden, have a nice chat, give you a bit of advice, and yeah, get to know who you are and help you out a bit. So that is Thanks Plants competition. We want you to win. But you've got to get hold of this issue, the August issue, the September issue, and the October issue to find the sentence. 3 words. Okay, and then go along to the Thanks Plants Facebook page and also the Gardener's Facebook page, and you'll see we put together some amazing videos where we are saying thank you to certain plants for what they bring to us. And you'll also learn a whole lot too. Remember guys, Grow to Eat is also out and on sale now. Guys, there's super yummy recipes in here. There's like the king of all berries, which is the strawberry. How to grow it. Doesn't that look yummy? I mean, I just want to get one of those. You know those like cream things that you shake? I just want to get one of those and go all over it. There's strawberries, there's quinces, there's how to grow your own garlic. There's nasturtiums, sorghum. There is so much in this, plus yummy, yummy recipes. And of course, we visit Justin Bonello, who's got a neighborhood farm down in the Western Cape. A really fascinating article. And we got to spend a few days with Justin, and yeah, radical. Absolutely radical. I thought I was ADHDEF. Nothing. I got nothing on this boy, guys. Nothing on this boy. Anyway, Justin, shout out to you, my boy. And remember, guys, grab your copies now at your local garden centre or retail outlet. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. Huge shout out to Atlantic Fertilizers and to Stark Airs. Guys, check out, learn, go to Thanks Plants, try something new. Come on, move your cheese. I'll help you move it. Come on, try something new, try something different. It's a beautiful time. It really is a beautiful time. Celebrate, enjoy, embrace, and if you can, just slow down to watch those spring blossoms. God bless you all. Till next time, happy gardening.
The Gardener Masterclass was proudly brought to you by the Stoechas Garden Care range. Innovative gardening solutions for feeding, growing and care. Are you ready to grow with Stoechas? Seeds of success. And the Gardener magazine. Get access to the greatest minds, latest gardening trends, inspirational ideas and tips. Available from leading retailers or online at thegardener.co.za.
Calling all green-fingered gurus and plant killers alike. We got you covered every month with gardening inspiration, hands-on practical advice and fun projects to do. From the latest in plant fashion, growing your own, whether to prune or not to prune, from cover to cover, the Gardener and Detainee magazines have got your back. Get your copy now or subscribe online at thegardener.co.za.